Hello! Ow, shit. So, immediately off the bat, while I'm on YouTube and I've sworn, 2, I've hit my sound wall I've got right here. So, amazing start. Only dangerous because this wire is leading to a bright light that's right here. So I've immediately sent everything into crap. It's all fine. It's all fine. Fancy new graphics and everything with NXT review. Hello and welcome to the Lords of Pain Radio NXT review. My name is Matt Maher, aka Imp, and I'm joined by One Nation Radio's James Boyd. How are you doing, James? We're back, and I didn't mute me, so that's flipping amazing. So you would have heard that amazing little back and forth. We're learning, guys. We're learning. Baby steps. I'm going to leave you.
Can you hear me? Or on the stream?
There we go. Yes, I just heard you go. Can you hear me on the stream? Yes, I can hear you on the stream. Fantastic. Well, we can get bloody back to it. Working out the little thing. This is the first time I'm doing this with a guest as well. If you couldn't tell, with all the random stuff. But yes, he was on about the Fox mascot. So you would have seen him talking, but not heard anything for the past couple of minutes. So he was answering my questions. Yeah, he was answering my questions on the Fox mascot, and yes, it was a little bit funny that you would have heard me saying yes please and then nothing from him. Anyway, so the main event. We'll talk about NXT. We were talking about Fox mascots. We weren't on topic at all. So we'll just do the main event. Sasha Banks versus Io Shirai, who was joined by Bayley for an incredible main event, almost takeover worthy. Presentation-wise as well, again, Great American Bash. They got the special show kind of entrance. Banks and Bayley have just they're my favourite thing in WWE right now. They are absolutely killing it. For me, even on SmackDown, when the division isn't really much of a division, they've been killing it. Same on Raw, where Asuka didn't really have anybody, and suddenly Sasha Banks, you can't be interested for Extreme Rules, just off that match. That's the only match I'm really interested in, but I'm really interested in it. So that's awesome. And then the big one this week was, as soon as it was announced, just Twitter was just like, oh my god, yes, Sasha Banks, Io Shirai, 2 incredible in-ring wrestlers. I'm trying to think of a fancy word. 2 incredible in-ring wrestlers, and they absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it in terms of a TV match. So this felt like the first match that you use to sell the actually absolutely incredible match down the line. You don't sell everything on television. You hold it back a little bit, then you make them pay for the awesome match a little bit down the road, or you set up for the spots to then work on later. Still, it was an incredible main event match. So before we go deep into the details of it, what did you make of the main event match, James?
It was a blast to watch. I ended up watching it earlier today. Full disclosure, even though I was the person that once ran a NXT exclusive podcast weekly, I watched Dynamite live, and then I watched NXT after. But I thought it was a great match. It's one of those matches where, like you said, it leaves you wanting more. There's more for them to reach into and go get. I've seen them both have better individual performances before. Against people and have better matches against different people. So this is one of those things where, given the scenario you imagine, they didn't have much time to go over much, given, the kind of restrictions that we've heard that are on the PC. That was a hell of a match to pull out, on a first go-round with somebody. So I hope there's more of that in the future. That was kind of a dream match in me as a person that, became a huge, there are people that, kind of... with the Shield, that was their thing. They stick around, or they became fans because of the Shield. The Horsewoman kind of kept me in WWE's loop as far as the main roster. That and Asuka, and then with that came to my love of Stardom and Io. So it's this is a match that I've been thinking about for a year and a half. As far as I can't wait to see them eventually do it if Vince doesn't bury both of them in some way or shape or form. So I'm glad I was able to get it with not too much shenanigans. The finish was the finish, but it still felt mostly like a pretty damn good competitive match.
Yeah, and Banks and Bayley are very quickly becoming the modern day Charlotte after Charlotte in terms of they're absolutely everywhere on every single show. You can verify it though, not verify it. You can have variety though because it's a tag team and they're both amazing. But they have
That's
him
true.
on Raw, on SmackDown, on NXT. On NXT, one of the notes I just wrote down was just like the incredible notion of putting the NXT wrestlers over. Insane concept. How insane is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That,
I mean, maybe, just maybe, they learned their lesson and decided, like, that Charlotte thing that we did pretty much stunk and it really hurt Rhea. Let's not do that to Io.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she's allowed to actually pin the wrestler. Like, yes, it's shenanigans. But yeah. It's because it's a main roster person turned up, but like she's done more in one night than Charlotte Flair did in in however long. So
yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Anyway, this is going to be a happy review because it was a good show. You got to get that Charlotte Moon out of your system. She's an amazing wrestler.
Oh, God.
I think she's one of the best wrestlers currently going. Just a little bit overexposed over this since WrestleMania into this lockdown period. Like just a tad, just a little bit.
Absolutely. Like it's become a thing on 180 Radio now, where like we have a weekly Charlotte problem thing and a weekly Cody problem thing, where it's like. We have to devote like 8 minutes between the two talking about like this is what they've done to whatever show or this character, and it feels like it's just stuck in the mud.
Poor Cody. It's so heel turn and pretend they're being geniuses. Just anything like that. The AW version of the wait and see thread that you've got for everything else.
Oh wow, we might have to get one of those.
It's currently very short for AW, but they are still babies. So they're slowly growing into it. The list will grow over time. It will natural. We won't have to force it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
like one day Darby will get the win over Cody. One day.
One day. I mean, if they're doing New Japan style long booking in terms of the writing, it's like, damn it. Like with WWE, we're talking like months often, if not weeks, until the wait and see happens. Compared to if AW doing New Japan, I have to wait years to be proven wrong. That would be a really long bit. Damn it, they can course correct in that time. Damn it, it's almost as if it helps the promotion. Crazy. Anyway, so with Banks and Shirai, I'll start with the arrival of Sasha Banks and Bayley, where they arrived in style in a bright white car. Not a car person, so no idea what car it was. For me, it was a bright white car. Did you catch what make it was? No.
Yeah, Morrow said it was a 2014 Jag, and I was like, why would you say the year 2014 and the year 2020 about a car? Like, you made it look like she's out here buying, she's renting a used Ford. Like, what are you doing? I thought I thought that it was a little, I thought that was a bad play, but whatever. Like, it looked like a nice car.
She's got money, but they're not frivolous. They're smart with their money.
Yes, there's a difference between the Sasha Banks money and the Vince McMahon money, apparently.
And it made me laugh when they pulled in. Our immediate reaction is, there's currently so many cars in this arena. There's the stage cars, and then there's their own cars pulling in. It's like, is this a performance centre? Why are there so many cars in this small arena? What are you doing? But both Sasha and Bayley were decked in the red, white, and blue for America. I've just saluted. James won't see that until on delay. And Io Shirai comes out, and it's just something. It's sometimes when there's the presence of the main event roster acts when they come back. Charlotte was kind of like I am special presence, which to be fair, that is her entire kind of thing, and that carried over to NXT with like a much grander part to it. And whilst Banks and Bayley, they came over and they were just having fun. They had that main roster presence, but they were just like full on characters, just having fun. Where then when Io Shirai's music hit, it's kind of like she did have an aura, and that was really great to see. Like Rhea Ripley, she felt like an NXT act when she was going up against Charlotte. Io Shirai felt like an equal here, and that was awesome to see. Like, even in just the entrances, there's something about Io Shirai's entrance which just kicks ass. It's just awesome, and it really, really fit against. It made it feel like a badass going up against a main roster person. Weirdly, I didn't, even though I liked Rhea Ripley's whole presentation, I didn't get that feeling of Rhea Ripley. Like maybe it was the promo packages. They were constantly painting her as the underdog against Charlotte, whilst here, Io Shirai's got to fear Sasha Banks. And I thought that really, they weren't into the match as well. They felt equal. The offense was equal. The swing of the match was equal. Both of them had like spells of equal spells of momentum where they were on top. And then the later stage, it's swinging back and forth. It takes Bayley interfering. It takes another surprise interference later as well. Like just painting Shirai as an equal against a main roster star. My God, it makes such a difference in how the match plays out.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing with this Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, Charlotte, and now with the Sasha and Bayley dynamic is that when Rhea, had the feud with Charlotte, Rhea just basically got her ass whooped anytime it was like a fair one. But including the match, like she lost just clean, and then Io comes back from the injury, wins that number one contendership match, has a title match, ends on the Samaz, but Charlotte has to pull out the kendo stick because Io out-wrestled her. And then, you go to the match a week later or 2 weeks later where you have Io versus Rhea, and Io has the match won until Charlotte comes out. So it's like, so why was Io the one not, in WrestleMania if she's the one that you're really pushing, or is Rhea on some type of slow exit out of NXT, and this is like the worst way for her star for her to like lose and then like do the Robert Stone brand side quest thing on the way to the main roster to eventually get her like what would be the we'll wait and see win back from Charlotte. It was interesting. It's like it's clearly like all political and like it's 4D chess, but I do like appreciate the fact that like you're going to have your top woman star in NXT fight another top star from Raw on the NXT show, and like it's a back and forth. It's not just rough shot from a Flair. I do appreciate that. It was a nice touch.
Like the thing that caught me by surprise was like Io Shirai was the one who started off strong, like really placing her stamp as NXT Women's Champion, and it was Bayley doing her job and working as that momentum turning factor. Like she was giving Sasha that in to pull the champion down, and the boss then got in her own couple of minutes, but it wasn't for long. And Io Shirai gets in. Like very quickly, this match turned into like an amazing back and forth. Like how athletic and powerful they both can be was on full display. And like an amazing example was with Banks down, but she's down. But Io Shirai, I can't believe I find my words. Io Shirai had to land on her feet after the moonsault because Banks gets out of the way. Then Banks goes for a devastating powerbomb into the plexiglass at ringside before getting back into the ring, and then she tries a frog splash. And I saw it. It was just like both of them got to give that display and the variety in their offense, and I really like that.
Yeah, it's funny because like it was one of the rare moments where Sasha Banks gets to show off like the as I like to call it, the big woman offense. Like so, I remember thinking of like when Shawn Michaels used to wrestle like 1, 2, 3 Kid. It'd be on a DVD. You see him doing like gorilla press stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this is the Shawn Michaels big man offense." Like Sasha throwing the power bomb to the plexiglass, like that's her monster. That's her monster spot.
And like. In the end, it was the dirty tactics that cost them, with Bayley at ringside trying to do stuff. Like, spot of the match was Bayley honking the horn on the car. Just to get the attention. That's the Bayley spot of the match. But in the end, those tactics it cost them, where with Bayley and the tag titles, where she took one in and the referee is still a little bit confused, then Sasha tries to grab it, and then that's what the referee's like, no, no, don't grab it, pulls it away. Then Bayley, because she's smart, and they're tag titles, so there's 2 of them. What a crazy one. And the referee's going crazy over the 1 belt, so Bayley then distracts the referee with that 1 belt, and Sasha just gets the other tag team belt and absolutely clocks Io Shirai. Oh no, sorry, she goes to clock Io Shirai with it, but she can't, because holding the other end of the strap is Asuka, who's just suddenly appeared out of nowhere, and she blows the poison mist into Banks' face. Roll up from Shirai, didn't get the win, but the follow up I think was like a shote ha thing, like I forgot, like the Jushin Thunder Liger strike, yeah, that Cheeseburger does. I know more of a Cheeseburger than Thunder Liger, which is weird. I don't think most people are that way around. But yeah, so that's when Banks down, and then Shirai's able to hit the moonsault for the win. And it was a nice little touch for me where the referee didn't put 2 and 2 together until like he looks at Asuka and he looked at the Sasha Banks with the green face. He didn't have any reaction when he saw Asuka, but then as soon as he saw the green face, he's like, "Ah, crap, I've done messed up." Which is
one thing. What I really liked about it was they did a really good job of hiding the stuff on her face, right? Like, she gets hit with the shote, and then she gets rolled up in a way to where the ref couldn't see from the positioning of the ref, could not see her face, green face. Then Sasha or Io hits the moonsault onto her back and then pins her, and as she pins her, if you go back and watch, Io cut with her leg covers Sasha's face to where the ref couldn't see it. I thought it was just a splendid touch. Like it was like the small details that you like that we always talk about with like why we love wrestling or why we think things are like over the top and great. I thought this was one of those nice touches.
Yeah, like NXT, AEW, and New Japan all do this. It's like nice little touches, just the care of detail, which you don't see on the main roster because it's written so late in the day. But yeah, it's just nice little touches that just make the world make sense. It's nice when that happens. But yeah, so Io Shirai followed up with her beautiful moonsault, and the NXT talent was victorious. What a crazy concept, putting the future over. How novel. How novel. And of course there's the awesome image of Io Shirai posing with Asuka, and immediately Twitter's like, are they going to team up? Are we going to get Io Shirai and Asuka? Please. Are we? And especially with the news about Kairi's contract and confusion about that, people go even more crazy just going towards they can team up.
Yeah. Like the Kairi stuff is so confusing that like I've heard some of the details and read some details and I'm still like feel like I learned nothing. Yeah. But as far as Io and Kairi, like if this is NXT, this will undoubtedly end up with the story of them, showing pictures of when they were in working various Joshi promotions or doing even when Asuka was doing her own produced shows herself. And when they were in a faction, like Io has a sister named Mio, and it was those three together, and they were called Triple Tails. Like so, like if this NXT, like I expected to just they talk about like their relationship and what they mean to each other, and Big Homie made a save for me. Now just on the main roster, we're not getting any of that. It's just two Japanese women together. But either way, I expect a good match, a good tag match at least out of this eventually down the road, wherever it may be.
Yeah, even if it's just the setup that Io and Asuka maybe don't get along especially well, and that's what I do. That's a personal preference. The best thing we've got to be careful not to fantasy book, especially WWE, because they'll just go the safe route.
Right.
They won't go anything crazy.
Right.
But that's what I would do. I would have the tag team match. They can get on, it'd be fine. You don't even have to show that much of them not getting along in this match. But I'd really like it if Io Shirai and Asuka weren't a tag team together, just because it kind of feels like you have to put the races together in WWE, and it's like, you don't have to do that. Like on Monday Night Raw this week, like it was like running through the different ethnicities in their roster, like segment by segment. It was really weird just watching it like that. Yeah, like they tend to
like especially Raw. Yeah. Especially Raw. Like you look at what MVP's faction is and how he's recruiting Apollo Crews. You look at with I don't know why, but you had Austin Theory with Humberto and Zelina and Garza, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, I'm going to link up with Seth and with Buddy Murphy. And it's like, okay. Yeah, so you're absolutely right about that. And I kind of noticed it, but I never really I never really sat and thought about like, oh yeah, like in totality, like from a further back perspective, like, yeah, they are grouping people by race. Interesting. It's almost like there's a word for that. Start with an S. It starts with an S, right?
It's like, for me, if they eventually kind of break out of that wall and start interacting with each other, then you've got all these different factions built up. Yeah, then the time would have been worth it. But I'm not expecting that to happen. I'm expecting them to be in their own storylines and things for quite a while. WWE, It's less of a shared universe, more of like passing ships where they're doing their own thing, don't really interact with each other. So, yeah. Anyway,
yes.
We'll now go down the NXT, as we've gone on another tangent. whenever I've done a show with James, it always happens. Just massive tangents. So the match that kicked off the show, we'll go down the show in card order. The 4-woman elimination match, number 1 contendership for the NXT Women's Championship. Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai versus Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae. For me, an awesome fast-paced opener with 4 incredible talents. Believe the hype, NXT's women's division really is stacked. Yes,
it's stacked, and I do like what they've done with NXT, kind of with the departures of Bianca and Shayna, like how they've kind of regrouped around, more like moving this tag team or bodyguard Shawn Michaels and Diesel thing of Dakota and Big Mommy Cool Raquel, and having her kind of be the straw that stirs some of the drink, kind of like, almost every single babyface hates her guts, like Tegan and Mia especially. And then eventually we're going to get Tegan versus Candice because they keep having these interactions ever since the turn where like Tegan is truly conflicted over the fact that her friend turned out to be a piece of crap, just like her husband and her husband's best friend. So, I think it's been really well done. It's actually been like some of the best stuff of the last month or so in NXT, in my opinion. The mid card stuff with the women's division.
But I've been a fan of like both Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai's kind of little arcs with little details and the way we're just talking about how the main roster is passing ships that don't really interact with each other. Those 2 characters are a prime example of them interacting with the rest of the wider world. Like all of the women have got little bits and moments with all of the other women in the division. They're not just in their singular food with one person. Like everybody's got something against somebody else. And that just means when it all kind of blows up, like we saw with Candice LeRae charging at Mia Yim, like later in the show, like it makes sense because you've already set it up. You're not just setting up a feud. Like there's precedent to it, and it's the little details, and NXT just gets it right. Like in this match as well, where there were no strange bedfellows either. Like this ain't no main roster 4-way that essentially turns into a tornado tag, like heels versus faces. Like, no. Like, for example, early on when LeRae was running roughshod, she did a devastating move on the apron to Dakota Kai. They're both heels. Crazy. That was a crazy spot as well. that rough for Kai. Like, off the bat, setting up the string of chaos where everybody running in attempting to win. It wasn't your standard fare in this match like at all, just pure chaos, and that's my favourite kind of multi-person match.
Yeah, I mean, WWE has a real problem when it comes to relying on this formula that they found to be very reliable when it comes to like multiple person matches, and I'm glad that this one they broke away from that in this particular instance. I because you already know what it is. Someone's going to come in and steal a pin, but luckily they didn't do anything stupid like have someone break up an elimination pin. Like, no, let her. I understand your friends, Tegan and Candice, but like Tegan just sat there and let her friend get pinned. Perfect.
like my favourite part is always where there's as many people as possible, and that means that the pace is absolutely lightning. And before Candice LeRae's elimination, it was like Nox was attempting cannonballs, missing, but I'll come back later. Kai with a absolutely beautiful driver, Mia Yim kicking them down and turning into a kind of a brawl kind of pace at times, and LeRae launching herself all over the Performance Center. Like Candice LeRae was the early part of this match, just doing everything. It's just like, my God, she's like getting her moments with everybody. She's diving all over the place. And then, of course, yes, the formula. Yes, Candice LeRae got a lot of early offense, you say. What could that mean? Yes, she's the first to be eliminated. Of course. Here I was thinking, no, she's just the best wrestler. That's why she was doing it. No. It's just, and the one after another swinging offense eventually catching up with the match, and the Poison Pixie was the one that paid the price. It's like, as much as I love Candice LeRae, yes, I should have seen that coming. I was just like, yes, of course. For me, that works in this kind of match where it is utter chaos, and eventually when the wrestlers get more and more tired out, and of course Candice LeRae was the one throwing herself about everywhere, somebody gets caught. It's not like a Battle Royal or Royal Rumble where you have somebody absolutely dominate then get eliminated, because you're trying to build momentum in that match. I really don't like the Battle Royals where they have somebody do their moment, then they get eliminated. Then somebody else has their moment, then they get eliminated. Then somebody else is like, well, no one's got momentum anymore. It's just a bunch of things happening. But in this match, it made perfect sense to me. And Candice LeRae gets to have a bit of a whinge later and take it out on someone. So again, it fed into the next bit. Little details. I liked it. Liked it a lot. Then we went to a break. I didn't watch any of the picture-in-picture stuff because... Again, the amount of stuff I had to watch today, I'm not watching picture-in-picture when there's like 3 shows in one day. Like, I'm not mental. That's insane. But after the break, we entered the triple threat territory. But the pace was still rolling at the same speed. Lots of back and forth, no one really snatching momentum, and all building to that second elimination where Yim nailed Nox with the soul food. Out goes Nox to the outside. But before she could capitalise and try and get it back in, Kai swoops Yim up in an O'Connor roll and gets the elimination. Mia Yim is surprise eliminated. And I feel like I must have zoned out because on commentary they were saying, a bit of communication problems there. And I was like, I've definitely missed something here. That made no sense to me. What they just said. Was trying to compensate for something? Or have I just flat out missed a moment before the soul food?
I don't think you missed anything. Like, it was pretty much Mia ran wild with dives and running around, and then she got eliminated. But the way she got eliminated, like, we got to talk about that. Like, that was awful. Like, that was what I would say. I wouldn't say it would land you LeBron James Bum of the Month or Bum of the Week candidacy, but like it was like one of those like, wow, like I don't remember too many times this year where baby faces look dumber. Just haven't. Tegan. I would say Tegan getting trapped against the cage door by Raquel Gonzalez earlier in the year, but like it was bad. It was like she just got O'Connor rolled when it was just like at random. I thought it made her look bad or whatever else. Like, can't Dakota just hit her with her move?
It's one of those where, especially what happened later in the night as well. Like later in the night, it's gonna be. I say later in the night. Obviously, it's the next day when they did the actual... next week when it actually airs. But Mia Yim gets her moment to brawl with Candice as well, so she gets her badass streak back.
Right.
It was just... Yeah, in this match, she didn't really come off as the kind of the smart wrestler that she's portrayed as. And I think that's the only reason that it kind of caught me a little bit. Was the way her character is presented as a wrestler. It felt like, well, yeah, she probably should kick out here. Or reverse it, or do something, or catch her. Because she's way too smart for this to be enough to get her. But no, it wasn't. She was eliminated. And we moved on to the next bit, which again was fantastic. So I'm not really moaning. With NXT, when we complain, the bar is so much higher than when we're complaining about the main roster. Like, these are very closer, so much closer to nitpicks than they are like genuine concerns. So it's like if it was to review AEW. It's like it's more nitpicky concerns than it is what are you doing type of things. Just to keep that in regard.
Yeah, a lot of our like Wednesday concerns are like stuff of just like I've been screwed so badly by the main roster and Vince McMahon's nonsense over the years, and like I see like something that could potentially be something to be worried about like a couple weeks from now, and it's like most of the times it's like, oh, never mind, I was tripping. Like that's just me having my guard up for the brace for Impact, and Impact never actually comes. But yeah, I'm the same way. I'm just like I don't know about this. Like Cody saying he's going to be, he's going to come out here and he's going to be a fighting champion every week, and he's going to let tell people about bell to bell action, and then he comes out here and has the match he had last night with like all the gadgets and distractions and bells and whistles and smoke and mirror. Like, yeah, so I'm definitely with you. We were talking about NXT, sorry.
In my own head, I'm on a tangent because I'm trying to think who is still the LeBron James Bum of the Year at this point. I'm going through everybody, and in my head, I think my number one pick is still Ricochet, as in Brock Lesnar kicking him in the balls, destroying him, and then in Saudi Arabia just destroying him. Then we don't see him hardly featured at all. I was trying to think, is there anyone who got done... Well, he got done dirty. I guess is one way to put it. But
oh man,
is there anyone worse than that?
He's a good one. Cedric's a good one too. Oh man. Like I would say R-Truth, but R-Truth is positioned as a geek, so you can't really, blame him for that. Oh man, but it's rough. It's rough for Ricochet. Like I thought that dude was going to add warp speed. I thought he was going to be a bankable upper mid carder person that's in these main events and have killer matches, and he can win matches, he can lose matches, whatever else. But like you can put him in the ring and he can have good matches with anyone. Not you look at the match he had with Corbin last year, and then this just like. Nah, they completely pulled the plug on that dude like half a year ago, and they're never changing their minds unless they get themselves into some type of like pinch because of injury. It's just sad.
Like he's an NXT wrestler that got The Rock's blessing as a potential awesome guy for the future, and they still haven't been able to do anything with him. Like that's crazy. For me, that's crazy. And to think, even like the people who were saying. I was like, oh, don't worry, this Brock Lesnar thing is going to be fine. Wait till you see the match itself, and the match sucks. Like, oh, just wait and see. And my immediate thought was, you can still, even though he got destroyed, you can use that because he's Ricochet. You can do something with that. And then they just didn't feature him. It's like, oh, the reason he got done like he did was, okay, you don't care. You have no faith in him, which it's going to take ages to build that back up, if you care to. Which is like the next point about it. Anyway, I guess anyone listening, send in your LeBron James bums of the week, because it's difficult to bums of the year. I don't think we could do more. Anyway, so the final two were Kai and Nox. We've gone off topic loudly. Both women with strong strings of offense, just not able to put the other away. The longer we went into it, the more it swung back and forth with the pace. And Nox finally hits the cannonball. God damn it! And of course, the other point of note is the chiropractor is still amazing. I love that move.
Yes.
It's beautiful to watch. And also, it's one of those where it's beautiful when she does the rotation, and then when you hit the knees, it also looks painful. It's like, it's the best of wrestling in one move. I love it. And in the end, though, Nox hit the Molly go round, followed up by the Shining Wizard. Nox wins. She hit the Molly go round. That win is deserved. Good on you, Tegan Nox. And the new number one contender is Tegan Nox. James, what do you think on that?
I thought it was going to be Dakota because Dakota, just last week, after getting that win given to her by Raquel, she called out Io, so I thought that she was going to win it, and it's just like that's more of setting the path to that. But to be honest, like Tegan versus Io was a match that they wanted to do as far back as the semifinal of the second Mae Young Classic. Like the word was that Io or that not Candice, but Tegan was going to beat Io, and she was going to be in the final against Toni Storm, and she was probably going to win it. So unfortunately, it didn't happen because she blew out her knee. But this is a match they've wanted to do for a long time, Triple H, and he's finally going to get it. And it's going to be a good ass match. Now, as far as the end of this match, I thought it was really good. They have such good chemistry, obviously, because they travel together and friends and whatnot. But like, I don't know if people really notice this, but like, we always talk about like someone like Keithley or Okada, and they have wrist control. When they were brawling and they were getting back up, like they both got up by grabbing each other by the knee brace. They had knee brace control. And then they proceeded to continue doing their thing. Like, and you look back at since War Games and matches they've had nothing but very, very good matches or even great matches. It's just they've had wonky things like the 6-foot Deus Ex Machina that is Raquel Gonzalez, or getting the goofy finish for the cage match where made Tegan like a total geek. But like the matches and the work themselves, like those have been like really top notch matches for the women's division, for women's matches in WWE this year. So like I would like for them to continue having these kinds of matches. Maybe the stakes need to be lower so that they continue doing it before it gets a burnout effect. But like they just have clear chemistry in a way that like I don't think even Io has with anyone else on the NXT roster. So like it's a top mid card feud in like American wrestling in my opinion.
Yeah, and because it's NXT, the next logical step is when they've been killing it as a mid card feud, give them a title shot. They're going to lose, but they get the shot, and they can test the waters, get them elevated. I like that. Anyway, moving on to the next bit. Damian Priest cut a promo. He said something. Banks and Bayley were prepping whilst Beth informs us the main event will be commercial free. Means nothing to me, obviously, being English, watching it the next day. Because in America, that means, commercial free. Just remember, it's commercial free. This Mountain Dew main event is commercial free. Don't forget that. the Mountain Dew commercial with Miz's new TV show. It's just like a cannonball.
Isn't it called Cannonball?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Did Maher do a plug like, if you thought Tegan Knox's Cannonball was awesome, wait till you see the Miz's new show, Cannonball on the USA.
You know, the thing that also gets me that I think is like great about like WWE's like planning and infrastructure and decision making is that like Miz now has 2 shows on the USA Network. Like, don't you think that like as a person that has 2 shows on the USA Network that like he should be on the show that's on USA Network as opposed to being on Fox? Don't you think that would be like synergy? No. Is it just me and Rich? I think this is dumb that they've done this the last couple of years.
For me, it's only dumb because sometimes it's canon and there is synergy, and sometimes there isn't. And like as a fan that watches it, it's like I've got no idea what's meant to be then, or not. Like Bobby Roode, he's meant to be. When Bobby Roode got called up, he was a face. Like, well, that doesn't jar with me at all. Type of thing. The Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano came up as a tag team in the middle of having a massive blood feud in NXT. It's like, yeah, that also didn't really make sense. But it's only because someone, I guess, like Kevin Owens comes up, or another NXT champion comes onto the main roster, then you do get synergy, like Rhea Ripley. It's like, well, or you got Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, where they talked about their feud in NXT in their storyline on the main roster. Sometimes it's canon, sometimes it's not. It's like sometimes in the Royal Rumble, rules are sometimes just by convenience. Like not all the rules like are there all the time, and I feel like that's kind of plot convenience is what I'll call it. It's really what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, the second match: Timothy Thatcher versus Oney Lorcan. Thatcher's Thatch can holds, reversals, chops, suplexes, pretty much everything I expected from this Thatch catch match. I thought it was amazing. Was it what you were expecting, James?
I love this match. This was a match that I was anticipating from last week when they announced it. I was in the Social Suplex Podcast Network thread, and I said that I can't wait to see this tough white man match. That's the stipulation of the match. This is a tough white man match, and they went out there and they proceeded to beat the hell out of each other. They proceeded to like roll around and slap on submissions and escape submissions. This was a match that could have been on a blood sport. This is very fitting to all the matches and true to all the matches that like Thatcher has had so far in NXT, including the Riddle matches. And he's like, I like the fact that he is a change of pace compared to the contemporary WWE NXT style that's been going around. Like, I'm not saying you need 5 Thatchers, but if you have 1 or 2, it just is, variety is the spice of life, and we need some more of that in WWE.
I think calling it a blood sport match is a really good kind of way to review this. It was I had the words, but it was tough. Tough is the only one I've got left in my head. It was tough, and it was especially with me coming from the strong style of New Japan earlier in the day. And tuning in to seeing this, it's like, I felt home. Yes, this was pure stiff strikes to try and take the person down. No clever being cheeky because these are the heels. Like, no, I'm the bad guy because I can beat the crap out of you. And he does it. I was like, I love that. It's from the Brock Lesnar school of I'm a heel because I will beat you. I will beat you up and you will not like it. And yeah, for me, the match was what match was fantastic for me after the break halfway through was when it really picked up. And I think they were exchanging chops, just going back and forth, and Lorcan's face turned serious AF as the two were exchanging chops. It's like, we're into the serious part now. Thatcher was seemingly always the one winning out, or managing to lock in a Fujiwara armbar or something, and in the end Lorcan was trying to fight him off by pulling from like inside of his cheek just to stop him from locking in the armbar. But the crazy man just bit the finger and reversed it.
It was a old school Stu Hart sugar hole that he put him in, and he got out of it by slapping on the fish hook. That's what it was. And I was like, wait, I don't remember the last time I ever seen a sugar hold. Like, it's been like years. And then he broke it out, and then like Morrow popped as much as I did when I saw it, and then you got the fish hook, and it kept going. I was like, oh, this is so great. Like, two dudes just slapping on holes. Like, it doesn't look like Sabre, where like it looks so easy that it's unbelievable at times. And like they were working holds, they were getting themselves into predicaments, out of predicaments, and then they got up and they beat the hell out of each other, and then they threw each other in suplexes every so often. It was like, this match is a match that, like you said, New Japan. Like this like I'll give you a specific type of New Japan. This is New Japan G1 B block level wrestling, except it didn't go as long. Like, this is exactly like me and Rich always make this joke. Like, the B block over the last couple of years in New Japan has just been like with Goto or Shingo or Ishii, like in Moxley. Like, it's just like flat out just like everybody like this that survives out of this block is like a thug. It's flat out the thug section. Like, this is the roughest, toughest dudes, and like those two could have been in there doing that, and I was like, yeah, like beating the hell out of each other is universal. Like this translates. You took this operation anywhere you wanted to any promotion, and everyone would like it.
And after that sequence with him getting out with the fishhook, Thatcher then was able to reverse Lorcan trying to escape. He reversed an escape attempt, you don't have to say, back into a Fujiwara armbar and locked it in proper. Only submits, and after the match, after the bell's ringing, Thatcher goes full Pentagon Dark, wrenching back with pure madness in his eyes. Throughout the match replays, Orkan is then selling the arm like it's broken as Thatcher roams about with the Debo crazy eyes. Just like he's just full crazy, just staring at the camera. I think it's the smile as well that does it. He's just pure crazy.
Yeah, it looks sick. He looks like a sadist. Like, I do like the fact that like doing the Thatch Can like video packages is kind of reminding me of in a way like NXT UK stuff with Walter, like in the lead up to Tyler Bate, where he's just beating up basically like young lions. When he was showing moves, whether it was the Kimura or it was a Fujiwara armbar or whatever else, he would say like, this is the point where people tap out normally, and then he would go further back and just show how vicious and cruel he was. And like, after showing that for 2 weeks and then going to this match and having that kind of match, and then he does it to a dude that's also a badass like Lorcan, you're just like, this dude's serious. Like, this dude just sent like the baddest dude in the company out in Riddle out of the promotion, and now he's doing it to like the other guys that are also badasses. Like, where are we headed with this Thatcher thing? Because like Thatcher has the character work done now. He has his own style that makes him distinct now, and like, is the dude that like I thought was gonna be like a role player. Like, he's kind of being positioned like he's going to be next, like him and Cross both. So like, I'm interested to see like what they do with this new influx of talent, especially because like the Ciampa and Undisputed and Johnny, and it's kind of those kind of guys need to be wound down or moved to do other things to help fill out the card. And like also another person that's coming in, it seems like they seem like they have something in preset they really want to do in the future too. So it's like, I'm glad guys can elevate as opposed to feeling like 2018 NXT is still just as relevant as 2020 NXT.
For me, Thatcher's feeling like he could be a really strong, pardon the pun, North American champion, and really kind of elevate that title whilst you've got Karrion Kross with his clocks in the main event. And I feel like that'll... I've made his character so... he likes clocks. No, it's a bit more complex than that.
Yes.
But yeah, he Yeah, with that in the main event, you could have Thatcher in the mid card putting on clinics, and I feel like, especially as you're pushing Cross so hard, I feel like that's not a bad spot to have him in. You could even have him beat Keithley, just build him up as that crazy guy. Although it's just dawned on me as I'm pushing Karrion Kross that, maybe Karrion Kross is gonna be beating the faces because people just assumed he'd destroy Adam Cole, so maybe he's going to. I don't know. he's been. I assumed Karrion Kross was going to beat Adam Cole, but if Karrion Kross is actually going to be a total bad guy, then maybe he's the guy to take down your favourite. And everybody's favourite right now is Keith Lee. Didn't think that through.
Maybe. It's we're in an interesting place where obviously either way, regardless of whatever belt it is, or if they actually really do unite the two belts, like it seems like Cross is next. Like, you know, with the Keith when he gave the hourglass, he gave his sand to Adam Cole, and then Keithley broke Killer Cross's sand, and then they showed Killer Cross being a bit perturbed that Keithley broke his sand and he gave to Adam Cole. So it's like somebody's finna catch this Cross wrath. So yeah, like I don't know what direction it is, but either way, I'm happy. I'm good for it because like I'm interested to see. Like I wasn't that impressed with the Ciampa squash match. It just felt like, oh, he's doing a Brock Lesnar impersonation. But when he had the match with Bronson Reed last week, I was like, oh, if this is what he's bringing to the table, I would like to see more of it because like that's what I thought it should be, like 5 minutes of two big dudes slapping meat, a Big E match, if you will. But I'm interested to see him have more of these kinds of matches and see like the sustainability of it. Because he can't be throwing dudes on their heads left and right. But like if he can just stay, if he's sitting in the pocket and they're just throwing back and forth, big shots or whatever else, like. That's kind of been missing in NXT in a way, like, or maybe not even something you can say has never even been there, to be honest.
Because you brought it up with Thatcher, but for me, a blood sport was when I got Karrion Kross or Killer Kross as he was back then, and it was his match with was it Davey Boy? I think last year, and I
didn't watch it. I'm sure Joshua Smith from Keeping It Strong Style would know. I'm sure he would.
But yeah, for me, that was the match. That I finally got him. It's like, oh, this guy's awesome. To be fair, in that match, Davey Boy is also amazing. So, Davey Boy, David Hartsmith. So yeah, he's also amazing in that. And so, everybody, that's my recommended match of the week, which has come out of nowhere. Just everybody watch Killer Kross versus David Hartsmith. Especially if you're not getting Karrion Kross, I feel like that's a match where, as a in-ring talent, you can get him. Of course, his character is nothing like that promotion. It kind of was just there. Anyway, speaking of, Karrion Kross had a promo up next. TikTok. Pretty much the gist of it. TikTok mother effers. That's pretty much the gist. So, third match was a handicap match. Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah and Robert Stone. And decked in robe, mouth guard, and fight shorts. Robert Stone sure was a sight. The sports goggles won me over, though, in terms of just, yes, the former X Division champion has entered as a total dork, and the goggles have sold me on it. Yes, it's just okay. So I'm not. I assumed he would be pure comedy, and the sports goggles sold me. Just yes. Oh, and of course the alley shuffle before just doing a hop. I think he did before he got chopped.
It looked like he was dribbling a basketball between his legs, but I, like he was just, imagine himself doing that. But it's like I don't know exactly what he's doing until Mauro pointed out it was the Ali shuffle, and I was like, this feels a lot like when, during the last match, the match inside the football arena with the Elite versus Inner Circle at the last pay-per-view for AEW, where like Nick Jackson starts doing this dance that looks nothing like the Alex Wright dance, and then all of a sudden like commentary puts it over like that's Alex Wright dance. I'm like, no, it's not. I know the Alex Wright dance. It's like I do it when I'm by myself every so often when I'm bored. No, that's not Alex Wright dance at all. But yeah, okay, like if that's Ali Shuffle, I'll take your word for it, Mauro. Appreciate it.
Plus, we all know James does a cool dance when he's alone because he's cool. yes.
I also imagine that I sing like Usher or Chris Brown when I'm in the shower too. Just,
whilst doing the Alex Wright dance. It's an interesting image, putting the two together. So anyway, we did the alley shuffle, a weird hop, skip, jump thing before Rhea Ripley just chopped him to the tits. Just down he went. See you, Robbie. Rolled to the outside. Aaliyah then takes advantage with the match swinging into Ripley trying to fight back as Stone was interfering from the outside. So like a manager who can actually interfere in the match because it's a handicap match. The strength of Ripley was the factor. Stone entering trouble once Aaliyah's takedown Aaliyah was taken down with an electric chair facebuster, which was awesome. And then Roberts was on the outside, and Robert went to the outside where Ripley was there with a nothing. Just went splat. That's how he got there. Aaliyah and Rhea Ripley's there right next to him, just laughing at him when Aaliyah does a tope through the ropes into like a facebuster of her own, which I thought was awesome. And that was smooth and slick as hell. Aaliyah got some nice offense in this match, but the strength of Ripley was on full display. Eventually just beating the crap out of both of them, toying and messing them about before locking in the double prism trap for a double tap out. Ripley looks dominant as hell. You get Robert Stone over as a comedy dork. You get Aaliyah over as somebody actually with talent, but she's managed by a dork. And it's like, for me, this match did everything that it needed to. You carry it. Like, Rhea Ripley obviously fallen a tad from the main event status, but you made her look like a badass. And for me, that's kind of like the most important thing right now. You can building blocks for Rhea Ripley. And the other two, they did their jobs fine as well. Enjoyable match.
Yeah, this reminded me of, there was a match that Rhea was in, I can't remember how long ago it was. I think it may have been the Dakota Kai match after War Games, where like, you're just like, is she going to actually sell for this person? And it's like, because I really don't believe that she would actually sell for this person in this actual fight, because look at her, right? And you know how it's WWE, so of course they don't want big people to do that sort of thing. And like, sure enough, watching that match and watching this match is like, is she going to really actually be in danger? Is she really going to sell for these goofs in this geeks actually? And the answer is no. I'm just going to I'm going to get caught a couple times and they're going to get a couple things, but like I'm never in danger and I'm going to put them away. And I thought for this is substandard for the way they handled her from the fall of last year up until WrestleMania or after Royal Rumble, but like it ain't that bad to beat two people's ass, So I wonder what's next for her. Maybe Dakota again, maybe Candice. I don't know. Maybe even Mercedes Martinez, who is on deck. But they got her on TV and they didn't embarrass her, so good for her. Good for them. That's a step up from like recent past weeks.
So yeah, because they've been running promo packages for Mercedes Martinez in past weeks. So she's going to do something to someone. Question is just who and when. And Ripley's kind of just dancing about at the moment. So maybe, I don't know. They've got loads of people they could do it with. Their women's division is stacked. They'll be fine. Whoever they put her with. It is. But there's a week.
I talk about this almost. Oh, sorry. I talk about this like almost every week. Like the fact that they have Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, and like they have nothing to do with them except for being like just prelim people because like there's too much stuff, and it's like if they were in AEW, they could rip it up. If they were kind of thing Impact or whatever, they could rip it up. They were on the main roster, they could they wouldn't get pushed, but like they would be like you look at them and if you gave them a shot, they could do something as a tag team. But too many people, as you said.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like for me, like I really rate Mercedes Martinez. The fancy drafts we're doing on Laws of Pain run by Type. That's his name. I was about to say his real life name, but staying kayfabe him. But yeah, so he there's a reason in that where we've had to draft like 18 men, 6 women, 6 tag teams, and for me, even though we were drafting in the order of what we thought the others would pick rather than what we ranked them as. For me, I had to get Mercedes Martinez earlier because if I just felt like if I'm building a modern day division and I want an awesome veteran person on top who I can play as the heel but as everybody respects, Mercedes Martinez, perfect. For me, she's amazing in that kind of role. And not watching her vignettes that I've been playing, I feel like NXT might be doing something similar. They feel a bit more like guided towards heel, whilst also because she's a badass. So she may just be coming across a heel because she is a cocky badass, because she's got a right to be. Because the confidence is deserved, it's earned. I do.
Yeah, like when she had first got signed, she had a couple matches in NXT, and then she went away. Like I remember specifically, like she beat the hell out of Casey Catanzaro in a way that made me think like maybe they're going to play her as a heel, and now she's, they're doing this vignette thing. So like I could definitely see her being a heel in NXT, and like you look at the heel division in NXT is like she would be very needed there.
Yeah, so kicking ass. Next up we got Roddy VTR. The eyes. Look fear in the eyes, Roddy. Match number 4. The first ever NXT strap match. Roderick Strong versus Dexter Loomis. Dexter Loomis, multiple of TV's creepy murder bastards, rolled up into one. Oh, to the days when he showed up in TNA's gut check wearing his John Cena jorts. The business changes you, man. It's like, oh, poor Sam Shaw. He's now this guy. His business changes you. But yeah, so I found this match to be relatively enjoyable. It was because again, Roderick Strong for me is so entertaining. The whole Undisputed Era act, they very rarely fail to entertain me. And the Dexter Loomis character is so out there that if you had, it's just the fact that Roderick Strong is selling it like he is, for me, is kind of getting it over. And maybe the pipe-in crowd helps add to the atmosphere as well. I know they're not technically piped in, but they might as well be. It's just like pressing a button to cheer, press a button to boo. That's essentially what the crowd is at the WWE PC. But I enjoyed the match. I didn't think it was, oh my god, this is amazing. But it did what it needed to do. Only question is when Roderick Strong at the start of the match was like kind of not wanting to put the strap on, did the crowd chant "strap on Roddy"? So I was certain.
Yes,
they did. I wasn't going crazy.
They absolutely did. They absolutely did. And I thought it was hilarious because I'm apparently I'm 15 years old, but yes,
yeah, me too. So and of course, me bringing that up means whenever I say the word strap later, it's going to be doing my head in, just because we're so childish. But yes, it was. I was just like, they surely can't be chanting that. I must be missing the word "put" or something. Or Roderick, please put the strap onto your wrist or something. Like no. Anyway, after he did, Loomis immediately sent Roddy down with a high knee. The strap then immediately comes into play, used to pull Strong into the ring apron from the outside. I thought that was awesome. Rolling to the outside can't save you here, Mr. Heel Wrestler. I really like that little kind of way it worked in. Plenty of strap-based offense. There we go. Made it awkward with the gag. Little moments used to pull the opponent into just the right position. Like Loomis talking it to keep Strong tucked for the cheeky Nando's. Yanking... I'm going on just because Jay probably can't talk for a minute. Cheeky Nando's. Yanking it, launching his car trunk friend into the steps. Yes, I love the way that the strap was used in this match. It was used in smart ways. It wasn't just now and then we'll use it as a weapon and we'll have a normal match, or immediately to submissions with it. As in, you're having a normal match, but when you do a submission, you wrap it around the face or something like that. Like I've seen so many strap matches kind of like that. Or they'll use it when they try to escape, and it's like, no. Here it was like so much part of the match, and it was little details. Again, like to get Strong stuck into cheeky Nando's, he just talked it just a little bit, and that pulled him in, meaning he couldn't get out. It's like, yes, again, NXT, little details. I really, really enjoy. And this match was full of little details, and Strong was never really able to down Dexter. The strap always there to rip the man back into reach. Fish showing up was a last minute ditch effort, but the comedy rope spot, he just tightened it and he runs into it. That took him out pretty quickly. A Uranagi slide slam from Loomis. Then he wrapped up Strong in the strap before locking in a Cobra Clutch looking thing. I think it was just a Cobra Clutch with the strap.
that's his typical standing front choke or whatever else that like Edge does now too. Except Loomis, started doing it before. There are parts like you just went through it, and like there are parts of like smart storytelling in the match, but I think as a whole, from the build up of this match, and what happened on screen, it just didn't work for me. I thought it was boring at parts. Like Roddy always gives 100% effort. He's a go hard. He can't go back. Like he wrestles like he cannot go back for whatever situation he grew up in or whatever else. Like he is definitely that kind of wrestler and always brings it. But it's just for me, it just didn't do enough for me. Like I don't know. I have a question. Do you think that maybe I'm projecting on this? Do you think that like at some point in the match, like he was strapping, he was hitting Loomis with the strap on his back? Like there was one welt that actually like bled out, which is like nasty one. And then like once he hit him got him a couple times with the leather, he wrapped his legs up and put on the Stronghold Boston Crab. Do you think that was supposed to be like he just hurt his back, so now he's because he is the Messiah of the backbreaker? Like, do you think this was like more typical Roddy back work, or do you think it's just like I found a cool spot and I'm just going to put it on? I mean, what do you think?
The match, because Roderick Strong normally does that sort of thing, I'm inclined to go to the first one, as in he's done one thing, let's go to the next, so it does link. However, because it's a strap match, I was kind of thinking, oh, here's a cool spot, and Roderick Strong's smart enough to go, well, let's at least try and work it in and make it make sense with that, instead of just doing cool spot. So it's maybe a mix of the two. It's probably what kind of I feel about it. Yeah, for me this was perfectly fine mid-card match. As in, when I say perfectly fine, like, if I'm going to star it, I don't know, 2.5. But for me, that's fine. Not every match has to be crazy. And the Dexter Loomis character is certainly a character, to say the least. So, that kind of character in the WWE world, I have absolutely no idea how or what they're going to do with it. It's an odd one. The temptation to do weird stuff is there, and that's always scary with WWE because you have to do the balancing act with it, and they mostly fail with the balancing that kind of complex character.
Yeah, he seems somebody that, like, with that gimmick, he's one of those gimmicks that's like, why are you in NXT? And, like, obviously, this is supposed to be a finishing school or whatever else for the main roster, but it's like, as soon as he's even close to ready, you need to, like, subtract him and add him to the main roster, because, like, this is not supposed to be, or not necessarily, but, like, when they put out these commercials about no BS as a selling point for NXT, and it's more or less like for 50-year-olds that are withered down and tired of this is nonsense. Like, if that's the case, like, Loomis ain't it doing like Kane and Undertaker from the 90s.
Yeah. He's not punk rock, I guess. Which is kind of like the NXT kind of image. He's definitely not Triple H's brand of metal. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I just, for me, like, as far as the match and then how it ties to the story and why it didn't connect for me, just like the story for me is just shot because you have Roddy, who had a competitive match with him earlier, a couple months ago, maybe even less than a couple months, maybe like 6 weeks ago or something like that. And the part about it was like he kept getting frustrated because he couldn't get him to the ground. He's like, I'm a wrestler's wrestler. Why can't I get this dude to the ground? And he ended up losing that match. And then like you have the cinematic match between Velveteen and Adam Cole at the last takeover, where they throw him in, where Loomis throws him and Fish into the trunk, and then like out of that becomes Roddy is scared of Loomis because he keeps staring at him, and then like he put him into a trunk, which has traumatized him. And it's like, okay, but like Bobby Fish was in that trunk too, and Bobby Fish is acting like it's a normal Wednesday, just like any other day. So like, how am I supposed to take this seriously when like the bigger badass out of the two is the one that's most scared of this thing? It's like it just left me cold, the whole thing. Yeah, it was even like me speaking more positively. I'm still not talking. Incredible. It did its job. I guess.
Yeah. Like maybe it would have been better if it was like 13 minutes instead of 16.
Oh, Wait, was it that long? I didn't even realise. Oh,
Yeah.
See, I watched it in 2 bits because when this match, I got halfway through this match, then New Japan Cup started. So I watched New Japan Cup, then went back to it. So I didn't realise it was that long. Yeah, so maybe that's the way to watch it.
That's how you know, like, what a match is like. Oh, I'll leave this to go watch other wrestling instead.
That's the point. I wasn't like, oh, this is too good, and I have to pause the live stream. Like, no, I just went straight into it. I was like, to be fair, the New Japan Cup did start with Hiromu versus Ishii. That's how they kicked off the show. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not watching. I'm definitely watching this. Like, definitely.
Don't blame you. Like, as soon as it's over, I'm probably gonna watch Swerve versus Swerve versus Nice from 205 Live, and then I'm gonna put on the New Japan show.
Oh, Swerve! Shout out for Rich because the Swerve thing. Has he done a thing with Swerve?
Oh yeah,
yeah, he has. Yeah, I don't know if it's been crazy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Anyway,
no, you're not going crazy.
I was like, I've had a really weird dream where for some reason I jumped at Rich Latter did. Why would I dream that? That's so weird. Anyway.
Yeah, like it is a weird thing. It is a weird thing. Like, it's cool, but it is weird at the same time. Like, I don't mean weird. Maybe the word is like surprising. That's more the word.
Rich Latter is James Boyd's other half on One Nation Radio, if you're unaware. And he did the backing beat on Swerve's latest track, something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
He produced the record. That's the term that people use over here. Yes, I don't know if they use it. Yeah.
Did the music good? I guess it's... Anyway, so VTR play, fantastic Keithley and Adam Cole promo ahead of their champion versus champion winner takes all match next week. Immediately, as a film nerd, it's like, oh god, the production value here is on fire. Keithley under really high production and lighting also looks amazing. AKA main roster push this man like now, and so he came off like a. But down to earth badass at the same time. I don't know how he does it. Just to exude both at the same time, and talking about how he's deserved this opportunity and getting to this NXT Championship match, the biggest match of his career so far. And Adam Cole again, just I'm champion for a reason. Essentially, he ain't winning. I'm Adam Cole. I've been reigning for so damn long. I am NXT. Essentially, about that. Just again building up step by step. The idea that Adam Cole as champion, he's been champion for so long, he's getting cockier and cockier. One day that will cost him. The question, of course, you have to wait till next week to see if that's now. Also, if you go to Twitter, you might want to mute NXT words until the show next week, given that there have been spoilers going everywhere for how next week's show actually went down. So just in terms of like just making sure you can enjoy the show without knowing anything about it. Just like he did when the Last of Us stuff leaked, just block it. Everything, mute it, it's all gone. just so you don't see anything. Oh, I'm so proud I didn't see anything about that game. I was like, I got to play it properly, I don't know anything. Anyway, after that we got a Finn Balor promo video. Not really much more to say there. Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano were cutting a promo backstage, but before they can really say anything, LeRae jogs off camera to attack Mia Yim, it turns out, as we turn round. And because it's WWE and you can't do any intergender stuff, Swerve's also there, and that's for Johnny Gargano to attack Swerve. And those two get into it, so the four kind of like brawling and things. People come to separate them up. They all get held back as they're shouting at each other. And Shawn Michaels gets some screen time. And I zoned out after that. I'm assuming it just ended with them brawling. I was like, oh, Shawn Michaels. And I just watched Shawn Michaels. So that's the danger of doing it with a really big star. Like if it was a lower mid, like Road Dogg had come out, I don't think I would have had the same reaction. Just like, oh. Or like when Finlay comes out, it's like, hey, Finlay. Right. Then that's it.
Right.
Then we'll be part.
Finlay like Finlay or Jamie Noble or like Carano. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but Mr. WrestleMania. So, yeah.
I'm confused. I'm sorry. I confused Carano with Adam Pearce. Sorry.
Yeah, just like somebody you'll recognise their face. But you won't get fully distracted by them being there. It's like, yeah, it's fine, yeah. Anyway, segment number 5. I've written Legado del Fantasma. And I've said it perfectly. After years of saying Ingobernables de Japón, I'm able just to say this complicated to my British mouth. I've been able to say these words. I'm fluent in wrestling stable names. So anyway, Santos Escobar cuts a promo, and I really like this stable. I kind of hope all three of them, given the talent with the lackeys, I feel like they really should be more than lackeys, and I hope they all get fleshed out over time. Even though Santos Escobar is kind of just exuding confidence at the moment and getting some proper time of a promo. They're going to they say they're going to leave a legacy that they can be proud of, a true legacy for Lucha Libre in NXT. Before his final note, though, to just put that cherry on that promo, Jake Maverick bravely walks out with a neck brace and all, and we get our remove the neck brace and attack them spot. But it's Drake Maverick, so he just gets stopped, like immediately. So he gave it a go. Before Escobar can teach a lesson, though, Febreze run out, Fandango and Tyler Breeze, and they clean up, and they run out of the ring, and it's the faces left in the ring. And next week looks like we've got ourselves a 6-man tag team match. Cool. This turned into NXT essentially for like a little bit. They were just setting up next week, and we got like run through of the card, and we got just a little few added moments to it. Like after the break, we got a full card rundown confirming Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae has also been added, so the card is slowly getting more fleshed out. But what do you think of Santos Escobar and his group of well-dressed men?
Oh man, I've loved this so far. When the swerve came out, like the week after the final for the Cruiserweight interim tournament, or whatever like label they termed it as, or whatever, it was basically Best of Super Juniors America. When he came out, and after they've done the two masked goons coming out and the mess with Phantasma for weeks and weeks and weeks, but like Phantasma would always send them packing and never actually land any real damage, and it would always end quick. And then like you get the whole thing where like it turns out it was a swerve all along, and it set the table so well to where it's like, Kushida is still owed a title shot because of the controversial finish to the triple threat at the end for Group A. Maverick, he had the match won, or seemingly won, until the goons came out and he fought for Phantasma, so he's been betrayed. So he definitely wants smoke with him. Swerve, he's the only person that actually beat in group play, beat Phantasma, so he has claims to an eventual title shot. It's like they set the table, which is one of the things I like about NXT. Is like they're really good at setting tables. Like almost everyone wants smoke with him. Swerve, he's the only person that actually beat. But like they're really good in group play, beat Phantasma. So he has claims to an eventual title shot. It's like they set the table, which is one of the things I like about NXT. Is like they're really good at setting tables. He actually almost now he wants smoke with him. Like I thought it's been great. Like. You talked about the legacy part, but he came out and said, like, the beginning of it, that when Lucha Libre is a part of the culture, is like we were movie stars, which is true. Like we were these icons, and like we were more than just masked guys doing flips. I was like, I love this, like, and the legacy of in the weeks prior when he talked about like he is leaving like his father's legacy to like make something in his own image. I was like, this is awesome. Like he's been a great promo so far, and I think that like he needs to have that belt for a good long while, and he needs to be featured on NXT in the weeks besides but like actually in NXT more than like when Leo Rush was a champion or when Garza was a champion. This is awesome. Like, and I loved Garza, but like this is like. They found something new new direction. Like it's really, really damn good.
And for me, as soon as he started cutting his promo, I was just reminded of the fun times watching Lucha Underground. It's just like the way their logo as well just reminded me of the Lucha Underground kind of like medallion kind of logo that they had. It was like, oh yes, I loved that promotion. Maybe it's just the fact that it's in the PC as well, just that smaller arena, and that kind of cheer that you got from the crowd as well, or the boos or whatever. So, it's just, yes, I'm happy to be reminded of those times by this little group. And and all three of them are solid as well. So when they have those 6-man tag team matches, they're going to be good. Like the former DJZ who is now suave as hell in his suit. Like all three of them are great. Raul Mendes as well. Mendoza. I can't remember which one it is.
Raul Mendoza. Like he's really good too. Like I mean, I don't really think they've had much. He's been given much time to show it, but like I've seen him in Evolve a couple times, and he can rip it up. So with him, and then like Ion's been around for forever. You know what he can bring to the table, and then like with actual real dude that like can cut these charismatic promos and be evil and a bastard like, and also like a strategist. Like this is gonna be interesting over the next however many months this goes.
And I'm all there for the build. Like even if they just use Drake Maverick to get him over, because it feels like he should. Yeah. He should dick all over Drake Maverick. That was a bit of a not great image, but yeah, Drake Maverick should.
It's a terrible visual. Terrible visual.
But Drake Maverick should be nothing to him. He should just be walking all over him, and I feel like that is. The group is, I don't know, because the group is getting so over, I reckon. We're not the only ones. Twitter is like really positive about them. I feel like it's kind of got to be the way they go. Like even though Drake Maverick got that whole social media thing about him, I feel like it's a weird one where he can fit in certain places, but Escobar's clearly something. Like they shouldn't do something where Drake Maverick wins the title back or anything like that. And I trust NXT to not do that. I feel like NXT will get him over, spend the time, make him feel like a boss, and it's not till later to do that one. So, yeah. Yeah,
and I think that Drake Maverick did such a good job in, like, over the last, like, couple months. He was, there was a stretch of a few weeks where, like, he was the most inspiring best babyface on American professional wrestling TV. So it's like... I'm not to discredit what he was doing, but like, and also like the rating that they drew in that segment for the when he was in jeopardy of being sent out throughout the whole time, like it did well. People actually like had an attachment to this Drake Maverick thing, like, but like to get to what they got out of the Phantasma swerve at the end is like that was one of the better swerves of the last few years. Like, and they're capitalizing and they're knocking out the park so far with all of that, with Drake, with the table they set in the future along the way, like especially with like the Atlas match from last week, like they've done a great job with this so far.
And for me, it comes like a nice little moment before you then go into the main event, which is already covered. And I thought the main event, again, just a fantastic just note on the end of it. And like with the ratings that have come out since, it worked. Both AEW and NXT drew in quite a nice number between them. For me, that's the most important thing, is how many overall were watching. And you're looking at 1.5, which, again, that's a great overall number. That's both up. That's great, I think. I don't pay enough attention to know if it's definitely up from last week. But yeah, I feel like I've not finished Fyter Fest, but just the Wednesday night of wrestling, just the competition just brings the best. And the winners are us, where we get. That's why I'm like, why would you stand one of them? Stand in both. Just enjoy them both. Wednesday nights are awesome. A nightmare when I was trying to cover them both with columns, but still awesome. I'm happy I stopped doing that. I've got my free time back, got my life back. But before we go, what did you make of night one overall? Did you enjoy it? Did it like drag at all, or was it just like a nice fluid watch?
Both shows I enjoyed a lot. Like I would say both shows were very good. What I would stop short of calling either one of them great, given that both of their track records as far as like when they want to blow the doors off they can. It's just we're in this situation where we are because of COVID, and I think for this COVID era that they've been in since March, these are two of the better shows that either one of them have done.
Yeah. And I'm kind of surprised because Fyter Fest was built to so much, where it just had a bit more to it going in terms of investment. Then this show we've got these amazing matches, and the main event you're not going to want to miss. And it was just one of those announcements where immediately Twitter was just like, I don't care that they've suddenly announced this show from out of nowhere. I am watching Sasha versus Io. And like everyone's had that same reaction. And it's nice to see like the wrestling fans as a whole, when the competition just gives you stuff like this, like a night like this. It's like, yes, and we get to do it again next week. Like, next week the main event is Adam Cole versus Keith Lee. That is going to bang. That is going to be fantastic as well. And whatever AEW throw us as well. I've not finished AEW for this week, so I don't know if they announced like a new main event or if it's going to be something else. But yeah, I'm excited for Wednesday as well. And NXT, thumbs up for this NXT. Maybe this is the first NXT review here on Laws of Pain Radio, so maybe eventually I'll think of a rating system. But like for now, or like running gags or something. Yeah. But for now, it's me kind of just remembering I've got to check the chat before we sign off. Because again, live on YouTube, new stuff to check. So, hello to Josh Robinson. Yes, I know you've listened to his podcast, follow him on Twitter. I don't know it off by heart, but do those, yes. I swear it's got Josh Robinson in there as well. Or he's got his own awesome podcast. Anyway, so that's that shout out. Anyway, so before you say adios, James, where can they find you at? What can they find you on?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at JamesBoyd87. You can check out our my podcast, my weekly podcast, One Nation Radio, at One Nation Radio, or you can just type it in on whatever app you're using to listen to podcasts and find it there. I'm part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. You can go to either one. Cool by me. Yeah, but we cover more or less WWE, NXT, AEW, Stardom, and New Japan. And we're kind of like a weekly show. We just check out stuff over and talk about it over the span of anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. So it's a laid back thing, more of a conversation, not what's your hot take type of thing or whatever else. Like we do bring it whenever there's something pisses us off or things that we're over the moon about. Like I can't wait to talk about this tough white man match with Rich. I just can't. But yeah, like it. But check us out. And I think you'll enjoy it.
Mm. And here on Laws of Pain Radio, I am doing my best to cover main roster WWE as well with Monday Night Raw. And when I was posting the link on the Social Suplex group on Facebook, I was when I was writing it out, I was like, yeah, no one has wanted to cover main roster WWE since Rich and James left LOP Radio.
Oh man!
And
yes.
Yeah, it's just like, those last few weeks, I was listening to them mentally break. It was just like week after. As a listener, it was really funny. We're just like, this show is mentally breaking these guys. It's pain playing out in real time. It's just their suffering. So as soon as I was doing it, it was like, I'm going into this knowing covering these shows broke the last guys that did this. So I'll do my best. Maybe my chipper tone will get me through some of the harder times. We'll wait and see. But you can follow me on Twitter at the Diamond Placat. You can follow James on Twitter at JamesBoyd87.
Yep.
Yeah. I typed it out earlier for the picture, so it's all there. It's all good. Yeah, the Twitter handle's been underneath our pictures for the entire show. So this is just for the audio people.
Oh, cool.
And if you can find my buddy notes to end the show. Right, here we go. Yes, and I will be back on Tuesday for the Monday Night Raw recap. Saturdays do not work for me, so I've not really got a way to cover Smackers. And of course, SmackDown, whenever I was doing the column series where I was covering all the shows, SmackDown was the one I had to force myself to watch. So maybe I'll try and get someone in. Someone else can cover it. And just pretend as I'm giving them an offer to do this awesome gig where in reality I just don't want to do it. Let's get someone else in. Also, we've got our live post-AEW Dynamite show here on Laws of Pain Radio, Dynamite After Dark, where Jamin and Jeff go live immediately after the show. Fridays is Miz Fan and Mystic with the WWF Legacy series, an unabridged look back over the history of the now WWE, with a journey through the entire WWF run. And cannot recommend that show enough. I think they're currently on a Saturday night main event with Macho Man in it. I think. Something like that. Yeah, when I say unabridged, that's what I mean. Every single episode they'll cover the TV shows building up to it as well, week by week. They're going to take their time with this one. Hopefully they don't die before they finish it. It's going to be a really long series, taking that long. That was a genius idea because they'll never run out of content because it'll take their entire rest of their lives to finish it. So anyway, So you can listen to that show where that should be dropping tomorrow. I mean, when most people listen to this on the next day, on the Friday, it will already be out. So that Saturdays is reserved for the AEW pay-per-view post shows every quarter or whatever. Sundays is the WWE with Aftershocks as well. Tuesdays is Kingdom of Honor. They are currently, I think, covering the New Japan Cup, so you can go over there and listen to that. They are doing a TNA series going back over their old pay-per-views, but that's currently on hold for the New Japan Cup. And we will have coverage for Dominion as well. I think I'm doing an Aftershock for Dominion, where I know for Americans that's a crazy time to do it. So I'll be joined by Jaman and Jeff to do that one, and they're American. They're in their 50s, so I don't know how they do that, which is crazy. For me, it's lunchtime. Like, I can have a glass of orange juice, a cup of tea. It's lovely. I might try and get video working, but I doubt they'll be able to get it to work, so it might just be me, so it might not be worth it. We'll wait and see what people think. Anyway, that is the end of that. That's the end of that. I've never ended a show with that sentence ever. That's not how I end my shows. I mix my languages up. I say, I'll bid you adieu, adios. And then, no, that is that. It made me laugh. I want to end with that now. Maybe mix it up. Mondays I'm optimistic and it's bid you adieu, adios. On Thursdays, that's bloody that. And I'll see you on Tuesday. And James also says adios.
Later.
Ta-ra.